Hello, my name is Eric Sai Cheng, and my matrix number is DE2000-78. So, as you can see, this is the circuit for our timer device in the Wi-Fi router, and we indicate the lamp bulb as the Wi-Fi router, and we use IC555 timer to set the time for the Wi-Fi router, and the push button to start the device. So when we already set the time in the timer, and we will push the push button, the Wi-Fi router will turn on. Then the Wi-Fi router will turn on even though the push button is not connected, because the timer is already set, and the Wi-Fi router will depends on the time. So after the time have reached the period that we set, the Wi-Fi router will turn off automatically.
Next, I will present for the calculation. So first, we find the frequency, which is the number of pass per second. So we just fill in the value in the formula, that is 1.44 over R1 plus 2R2 times C. So we get the value of frequency is 0.1021 Hertz. Next, we find the period time, which is cover for one pass. The value of period time is T equal to 1 over F. So we just fill in the value in the formula. So we get the answer for the period time is 9,785 millisecond. Next, we find the period for the hard time and the low time. So for the hard time is T1, and so for the low time is T0, T0. So for the T1 and T0, also same the formula with period time. So we just fill the value in the formula. So for the answer for T1 is 6,524 millisecond. For the T0 is 3,262 millisecond. Next, we find the mark space ratio, which is the formula is T1 over TO or T0. For the T1 is 6,524 millisecond over 3,262 millisecond. So we get the value for the mark space ratio is 2.0. And last, for the duty cycle is T1 over T, and we get the answer is 66.67%.
So as you can see, this is the result and analysis for our timer device. So the result will be we use Produce Add professional software to run this circuit, and we build it in a simple way to indicate the Wi-Fi router and to get our simulation for the circuit, how it works. And when we set the time, and for the IC555 timer, and we push the start button, the Wi-Fi will turn on. And when the time is reached, the timer that we set is reached, the Wi-Fi router will turn off automatically. As for analysis, we can reduce the electromagnetic wave that emitted from the Wi-Fi router by using IC555 as the timer and two resistor, one push button to activate the whole circuit, and a Wi-Fi router, which is the lamp bulb as the indicator. And throughout this result analysis, we are able to reach our objective by controlling the time of the Wi-Fi router and also the emissions of the EMF from the Wi-Fi router.
Okay, lastly, for the recommendation for future work. So first is in the future, 5G will provide improved service quality, reduced latency, and higher bandwidth, enhancing user experience in both the consumer and corporate space, from cloud gaming to telemedicine use cases. Also, the Internet of Things will be transformed by 5G networks, which is our IoT. However, it will take some time for technology to reach the majority of the world. Last, Starlink also enables video chats, online gaming, streaming, and other high data rate activities that had previously been impossible with satellite internet tends to high speeds and low latency as low as 20 milliseconds in most places. Users can also use the portability feature of the Starlink for RV's service to take Starlink with them. So that's all from us. Thank you.